My Himiway after 200 miles. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jermaine back with another video. And people always ask me questions about my bike, my new bike. I've had this bike for about a month now, and it has a little bit over 200 miles on it. Let's check it out. It has, let's see, it has 224 miles on it. And thought I would do a review video and just talk about the bike for a minute. Just talk about what I like about it, maybe what I don't like about it. But yeah, let's just let's talk about the bike for a second. So first off, I've been riding this bike for about a month, and I've put a handful of miles on it already. I ride quite a bit. Yeah, I love this thing. It's pretty cool. Now, one thing I love about it straight off the bat is I love the shocks. Yes, I love the shocks. I had a different bike before, a rad power bike, and it did not have shocks. And let me tell you guys, there is a massive difference, a bike with shocks and a bike with no shocks. If you live in a very, very flat area, maybe it's okay not to have a bike with shocks. But if you live like in a city where, you know, the roads are not like perfect, and you know, there's bumps and there's train tracks and stuff like that, you may want to have shocks. You may want to have shocks. And I tell you, shocks make a huge difference on this bike. I love the shocks. Now, a lot of bikes have shocks on the front, and shocks on the front are cool. A lot of bikes have shocks on the front, but the back shocks are just important. The back shocks are just important. You know, whenever you're riding the bike and you hit a bump, it's like they both work at the same time, and it makes for a very, very smooth ride over a bump. There's always those little round potholes in the street where like they can lift things up and put it in the street. And before, like, I would always avoid those, and now if I just happen to run over one of those on this bike, it just runs over, and it's just like a very, very, very smooth ride. Another thing I like about the bike, I like the fact that it just comes with certain things that make sense. It comes with the fenders. It also comes with, you know, this back rack. It just comes with the bike. I like the fact that they just give you a couple things, you know, free. I also love this light. This light is incredibly powerful, yo, versus just the other light I was used to on my bike. Of course, there was more powerful lights out there, but just compared to what I'm used to, this light is really, really powerful. One thing I kind of don't like about the bike, let's just talk about one thing I kind of don't like about it. I wish that they had more accessories. I wish that they had more accessories for their bike. I wish that they had like a basket, like a larger basket for the front. They do have baskets on their website, but their baskets are kind of small, you know. Like, maybe you could put, like, you know, something really, really small in the baskets, but I wish that you could, like, you know, put like a larger basket. I was thinking of, you know, maybe custom hooking up a basket from another bike that I have, you know, and maybe installing it on this one, but I just haven't did it yet. Another thing that I really wish that they would have on the website is just more back accessories. You know, yes, they do have accessories, but I just wish they had just a few more accessories on the website. Another thing that I like about the bike, but I've literally ran into a big problem with the bike, is the brakes. Okay, the brakes. These brakes here are oil brakes, and if you ever had the wire brakes are they're cool. They're simple to work on. They're very, very easy to change the brake pads and stuff with the wire brakes. But the downside with wire brakes is the wires stretch out over time. Yeah, over time those wires stretch out. Now with oil brakes, the cool thing about oil brakes is you don't have to worry about any wires stretching out. Oil brakes are very, very precise, and they last a very, very long time. Now, the downside with oil brakes is they're not so simple to work on. Yes, I could, you know, do it myself, but I just don't know exactly how to do it. I would have to bleed the brakes on this bike, And I just don't exactly know how to do that. Now, that's something I will probably learn in the future, but that's a problem I sort of ran into, is you know, just getting used to these new oral brakes, which are really, really awesome. But if you get a little bit of air in these, you know, in the tube here, what'll happen is your brakes will be very, very spongy. So you'll have very, very spongy brakes, something like this. And you can still use the brake, but you'll have to like sort of like pump it so you can get, you know, brake motion. So that's kind of one thing that I've ran into. I do have an appointment to go to a bike shop because, like I say, I don't exactly know how to do this myself. I went to a couple of different bike shops, and like all the bike shops I went to, they told me that you know, yeah, you can drop it off and we'll fix it next week. And I just asked someone at the bike shop, well, if you're telling me I have to drop the bike off today and you'll fix it next week, what day next week are you gonna fix it? And I'll just drop the bike off that day and I'll just keep it meanwhile. So that was pretty much what I told them, and they gave me a time to come back. So I'm gonna go back, drop it off. Maybe they can, you know, fix it like right when I'm there, and I don't have to like, you know, leave and come back like 2 or 3 days later. But that's just one thing I've ran into, which is not that big of a deal. Once I get the brakes, you know, flushed, I think I won't have that problem for some time. But I'm also the type of person that runs through brake pads quite a bit, so that means that I'm gonna have to really learn how to change the brake pads on these. I'm totally the type of person that rides a lot, and especially with this large 15-pound chain that's adding a little bit more weight, and also with the crazy hills in San Francisco, I go through brakes quite a bit. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this myself somehow, or at least change the brakes, or at least change the brake pads. If there's anyone out there with a Himiway bike that knows how to bleed the brakes, please make a YouTube video and like put it on YouTube. Or if there's anyone out there watching this video from Himiway, if you guys know how to bleed the brakes on these bikes, like if you make a video and put it on YouTube, that would be very, very helpful, because that's just one problem I'm running into, and that's not a big problem. I don't think most people would put 200 miles on a bike like this in, you know, in a month, like myself. Like I ride quite a bit, and for the most part I haven't really been riding that much this month. Like I really haven't been riding that much this month because it's been cold. If it was just a little bit warmer, I'm pretty sure I would be riding like 50 to 100 miles a day. Yeah, like it's totally possible to do it in the city. Just go on these long rides and like go across the bridge and, you know, go way over there and then charge and then come all the way back and then run around the city for a couple more hours. Yeah, you can definitely ride quite a bit in a day. But so far, I'm really, really loving it. I'm really, really digging it. It's very, very comfortable to ride. The seat is very, very large. Now, you do have to get used to not being able to lift the seat. That is something that I must point out, because I, you know, let a friend ride it and he was like, man, I like it, but I can't lift the seat. You know, that can kind of be a deal breaker to some people, but then at the same time, it's kind of cool because you don't have to worry about, you know, the seat post breaking. Because I've definitely heard about a lot of people with the red power bikes, they would lift the seat post up and maybe they were just too heavy, or maybe they just lift the seat post up too high, or maybe something else. But like I heard about a lot of people, you know, the seat post breaking. And I've also heard about that seat post breaking on just other bikes, not necessarily just rad bikes, but just other bikes in general. But there's no like seat post there, so you don't have to worry about that. So that is also pretty cool. And I'm digging the wheels. The wheels are pretty cool. I love these large spokes on the wheels. And installing these wheels is just very, very simple. It's almost like a skateboard wheel. It's really, really cool how these wheels work. It's really, really cool. I'm gonna actually get some wheel locks for these. I ordered off Amazon. I'm getting some wheel locks for these, so it'll, you know, make it harder for someone to steal the wheel off of the front if the bike is locked up. And I'm also gonna, you know, eventually get some more security for the battery here. It would be really, really cool if, you know, a lot of these companies made like a lock that you could, you know, a lock that they would make that you could put around here to secure the battery extra. Because just in the city, you know, like people, you know, if they can't steal the bike, they'll try to steal something off of the bike, and they'll usually try to steal the battery. So if it would be really awesome if someone out there made, like, you know, some sort of lock that would go around this and would give it extra security, you know, for, you know, us people living in the big cities, or, you know, it's very, very difficult to leave your bike out because people steal things all the time. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this little thing. This little thing is pretty cool. You know, it has, you know, the thermometer. It's very large. It's waterproof. I haven't took the sticker off yet. And yeah, top speed, you can go about 22 miles an hour. Now, you can also hack this bike, and you can go, like, I think 25. I haven't hacked it yet because for the most part, like, I don't really, I'm not really tripping on hacking it. It comes with a bell. Not very loud, but comes with a bell. And then you got some controllers here. My finger always hits this. Like, whenever I'm out, it always hits this. And if your finger hits it and it goes to 0, the throttle does nothing, because it's on 0. But then this can go from like 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 is, like, you know, top speed for the throttle. And then 1 is low speed for the throttle, but still taking off from 0. I guess it still looks the same. Yeah, but for the most part, we're at 224 miles, and I'm digging it. I'm loving the bike. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun to ride. Yeah, I'm digging it. And actually, I'm filming this video. It hasn't even been a month. I think I still have, what, 10 days to go, but I want to make a video after 224 miles. So yeah, 224 miles. Yeah, so anyway, thanks a lot for watching. If you guys want to check out one of these bikes, it'll be a link in the description below. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, y'all.